Hello everyone, my name is Val and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll discuss a few alternatives to popcorn reading. What is popcorn reading? Popcorn reading, or robin round reading, has been a favorite reading tool amongst most teachers worldwide for over 200 years. What is popcorn reading? It's a classroom practice in which students go around the room taking turns reading a text out loud. Typically, this is done with longer passages, like textbook chapters or chapters in a book of fiction. There are several variations of this technique, but they mean pretty much the same thing. Here they are. Popcorn reading. A student reads orally for a time and then calls out popcorn before selecting another student in class to read. Popsicle stick reading. Student names are written on popsicle sticks and placed in a can. The learner whose name is drawn reads next. Touch-go reading. The teacher taps a child when it's his or her turn to read. Many educators say there's no evidence that popcorn reading helps students improve. For example, Professor Todd Finley says that of the 30-odd studies and articles he has consumed on the subject, only one graduate research paper claimed a benefit to robin round reading or its variations, stating tepidly that perhaps robin round reading isn't as awful as everyone says. Catherine Hidden and Jennifer Jones's criticism is unmitigated. We know of no research evidence that supports the claim that robin round reading actually contributes to students becoming better readers, either in terms of their fluency or comprehension. Why all the harsitude? According to Professor Todd Finley, popcorn reading stigmatizes poor readers. Many students are terrified to read in front of an entire class. Weakens comprehension. Listening to a peer orally read too slowly or too fast weakens learners' comprehension. Sabotages fluency and pronunciation. Struggling readers model poor fluency skills and pronunciation. When teachers correct mistakes, fluency is further compromised. To be clear, popcorn reading is not a terrible technique and can be used to a certain extent in a language classroom. But there are a few alternatives that offer significant advantages over popcorn reading and its cousins. Let's take a good look at 8 better approaches to popcorn reading. Here I present you choral reading, silent reading, ear reading, teacher read aloud, echo reading, dramatic reading, timed repeat readings, and radio reading.
Approach number 1. Choral reading. The teacher and class read a passage aloud together, minimizing students' fear of reading aloud. Here is an example.
So let's read the first paragraph. We're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go. Two of the world's most famous endangered animals are also famous for their stripes. They are mountain zebras and Siberian tigers.
They need big forests to live in, but these forests are smaller nowadays because man cut trees down for wood.
To help protect the tigers in Russia, they made two national parks. These also protect them from people who want to catch them for their beautiful striped fur. Excellent. Thank you.
Approach number 2. Silent reading. Your students can read, can't they? They can do it silently in class. This approach works very well with KWL charts. Also, there are some other ways to do silent reading in class. For example, instead of reading the text, you can ask your students questions. For example, what do they see on the way? And then they're going to say, on the way they see many different kinds of cars. Also, you can ask them, why are there no traffic jams on planet X? The answers are here. The answers are in the text. So they would say they don't have any traffic jams on planet X because they have 3 ways to drive cars: on the road, in the water, or in the air. So instead of reading together, you can ask your students questions and elicit answers, which they can read, which they can see in the text. Here's another example. Tell your students to find 4 things in the text that money can buy for us. They only have 1 minute to read. Then show them the text. Here's the timer. It's set to 1 minute, but of course you can set it to any time you want. Then they read this text silently, looking for the information. When time's up, elicit the answers from the students. What are the 4 things that money can buy? Here's the answer. And also you can show them the answers in the text. This way you can cater for your weak students. Approach number 3. Ear reading. In this activity, students listen to an audiobook. You can also record a chapter and play it in class. It does wonders for your students because the teacher is the expert in reading the text and models good pronunciation and pacing. Let me give you an example. Listen and take notes. Here's where you formulate the task for your students. You are going to listen to the fable called The Wolf and the Lamb. As you listen, please answer these questions. Who are the main characters? Where does the story happen? What is it about? What is the moral of the story? Now you're going to click the play button and, play the story for your students to listen. Let's listen to the first paragraph. Once a lamb got lost in the forest and couldn't find a way home. He was alone, scared, and thirsty. There was a stream nearby, and the lamb went there to drink. A wolf saw the lamb. What a nice meal, he thought. His mouth watered and his stomach growled. After your students listen to the story, ask questions. Who are the main characters? Retrieve the answers from the students. So in the story, the main characters are the wolf and the lamb. Where does the story happen? It happens in the forest, or it happens by the river. What is it about? Put the words in the right order. Here's an activity for your class to complete. Put the sentences in the right order. And you can do it as a group activity, you can do it as pair work, or you can do it as a whole class activity. It's really up to you. Now, listen again and be ready to retell the story. So now your students are going to see the text, they're going to listen to it one more time, and it's essentially what ear reading is. It also caters for your weak students. Yeah? So when you click play, you're going to listen to the whole story. Once a lamb got lost in the forest and couldn't find a way home. He was alone, scared, and thirsty. There was a stream nearby, and the lamb went there to drink. A wolf saw the lamb. "What a nice meal," he thought. His mouth watered and his stomach growled. And you can finish this activity with retelling the plot of the fable. Invite 6 students to stand up, give them sentence starters, and ask them to retell the story. Approach number 4. Teacher read aloud. This approach is very similar to ear reading. The only difference is that the teacher reads the chapter aloud in class. Students listen along and do exercises. Here is an example. This is a group activity. You can ask your students to form groups within their teams, and then please ask them to write numbers 1 to 15 in their notebooks. They need to listen to the story and write down the missing words. Let's listen to the story. It's a short example.
Every evening, Mom reads me a bedtime story. But tonight, she looks a little bit uneasy. "Ethan, would you like a big brother?" "What?" "There's a baby in here." Mom points at her tummy and smiles. I am too surprised to say anything. Dad comes in and says, "When the baby grows up, there will be one more person to love me and to play with me." I don't know what I feel. It is good to have someone to play with me, but the baby may take away Mom and Dad's love for me.
After they're done, give them some time to talk to each other. So groups within each team can talk to each other and check their answers to make sure their answers are correct. Then you can invite a representative or a captain from each team to write down the words on the blackboard. And also make sure you display the correct words so everybody can check. And also you can give points for each correctly written word. Approach number 5. Echo reading. Students echo back what the teacher reads, mimicking his or her pacing and inflections. I think this approach is quite self-explanatory, so I'm not going to give an example. It's quite easy. Approach number 6. Dramatic reading. I think it's going to be best if I just demonstrate it.
There are 5 sentences in this passage. Ask 5 students to stand up and read their sentences dramatically. 1. Read like you are angry. "Abby, opens a red box in the room. 2. Read like you are sad. There's a big red machine in it. 3. Read like you are excited. This is a spaceship. 4. Read like you are scared. It can take you to any place you want to go. 5. Read like you have a toothache. Now it can take you home.
Approach number 7. Timed repeat readings. This activity aids fluency. Ask your students to read the passage silently, then again loudly, and then quickly.
Let's try it. So first, please read this passage silently. Now, let's read it loudly. Most owls come out at night. They have big eyes to help them see in the dark. Their feathers are very soft. Many can fly without making a sound. And now, let's read quickly. Most owls come out at night. They have big eyes to help them see in the dark. Their feathers are very soft. Many can fly without making a sound.
Approach number 8. Radio reading.
Radio reading is a read aloud strategy designed for maximum interaction between the reader and the audience. The reader reads aloud a selection and then initiates a discussion by asking the audience specific questions. Responses and dialogue should be fast-paced. This strategy improves reading comprehension at 2 levels. The reader must understand the text to develop the discussion questions. The audience, in turn, reinforces learning by responding to the reader's questions. Steps in radio reading. 1. Divide a class into small groups. Assign each group a short reading. Have the group read the entire selection quietly. 2. Assign a specific paragraph or paragraphs to each group member. Have them prepare discussion questions on this specific section. 3. Have each student read their assigned section aloud and present their discussion questions to other members of the group. 4. Ask group members to respond quickly. Once a question is thoroughly answered, move on to the next question. 5. Repeat the process until all the team members have the opportunity to lead the discussion. If you want to see how I use these techniques and approaches in an actual video with actual kids, please click on the pop-up link above, and also I'm going to leave a link in the description box below this video.
I'm about to wrap up this video, so here's some food for thought. I'm really interested to know what you do in your classes. What reading techniques do you use in your class? What works best for you? What do you struggle with? And what would you like to try? Maybe you can share your thoughts in the comment section below. Maybe it will start some sort of discussion, and I'm sure it's going to be useful for all the teachers who are reading the comments and watching my channel.
I hope you enjoyed this video, And if you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, I'd like to welcome my new patron, Kieran, who joined Martina and Peter. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.